the Bahamas, wine in the wilderness, the memory of Africa, but best of all and most important, she's tomorrow. Mine tomorrow.
Good afternoon and welcome back to My Harlem Portraits, the show that aims at shedding the light on the fundamental contribution of African Americans to the building of this country and on Black excellence. To represent in the utmost way Black excellence, excellence in general, our guest today is also the perfect representative of a young, gifted, and Black generation. She's a theater, TV, and film actress. She's currently starring in the smash hit produced by Classic Stage Company, Wine in the Wilderness, in the Village, and created by the brilliant mind of Harlem's Renaissance Alice Childress. With Tony winner CHANZE has her at her directorial debut and playing till April 13th. Our guest is Olivia Washington.
Hello.
Welcome to My Harlem Portraits, Olivia.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving our viewers your precious time.
No, thank you for having me.
I want to start with you first, with your career, which is already a long and very interesting career and upbringing. Coming from excellence and fame in the performing arts, your mom and dad are PAULETTA and legend DENZEL WASHINGTON. How challenging and or rewarding has it been for you, and I suppose for your siblings who are also in the business, John David and Katia, to carve your own space and your own identity in and building the impressive career you already have gifted us with?
So, I think what I love about my family is that they are both my parents are beautiful artists, and I admire their artistry and have been for quite some time. So for me, as a child, I started dancing very early, and because I was super shy, so it was a way for me to kind of loosen that up a bit. And then I fell in love with art myself. I don't think it was ever a thought out plan for any of us to kind of take this path. Um, and it found us at different times in our lives. And I love being an actor. I love being able to do this job, and I feel so lucky and blessed to do so. And I admire my parents' work. So I just think it's about. I don't think it's as planned out as I have to carve my own way. It's just I love what I do and I love being able to do it. So I will keep doing it as long as I'm allowed.
And you are fantastic at it. And it must be amazing also to have parents who can follow you in your career and give you advice.
Absolutely. I
Because
mean, yeah, I'm so loved. I'm so blessed and so supported. So I think, because they are artists, like their opinion, it means so much, and their insight and where they've experienced they pass their wisdom, and I'm infinitely blessed to have that wisdom.
it's a treasure. It's definitely
Yes.
a treasure. When you're able to follow into your parents' careers because what they do, you do love,
Hmm.
it's a blessing.
Yes,
You
it
have the
is.
history behind you that's
Yes.
very important. So as we said, you already have a brilliant career to show for with great performances. For example, I'm a Virgo. You were the super speed girl. Lee Daniels, a Butler, Empire, Mr. Robot, Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. Spike Lee is my favorite contemporary filmmaker. So
Yeah.
I see everything he does. The Little Things of Warner Brothers, Mahalia, Breaking, which premiered at 2022 Sundance Film Festival, and as we said before, Much Ado About Nothing by the Public Theater in Central Park. And
Yeah.
this just to name a few. And now you are just returning from the London's West End, where you starred in the 12-time Tony-nominated Slave Play, and you were doing it for the first time there. How was it? Because that was here a pretty controversial play.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I was again to be able to experience it with so many of the original cast members who also came from Broadway to London was really magical. And working with Jeremy, so closely with Jeremy, and working so closely with Robert O'Hara, it was truly such a beautiful experience. And the love that I have for my castmates, and we just really came together. It was a beautiful summer. And it's the first time that I lived in London for that period of time. So to be able to do such a play, and you really realize, I think a lot of the controversy around it came from people I don't think who had they'd never read it or seen the play. So it was just a lot of preconceived notions that they were putting on top of something that they didn't really actually investigate. And those who had seen it, of course, it's more than okay not to like something. I think that's why we make art. It's not necessarily for everyone. However, it really resonated with a lot of people. Yeah, it was a wonderful summer. It's written by an American, but it's about a lot of different topics that are transatlantic, issues, and yeah.
So
And
you
also it's just about a person's desires, like a singular human's desires. So yeah.
wonderful. So let's come to the plot of Wine in the Wilderness.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about where it is set and how it comes along.
Yes. Well, it's set on the last day of the Harlem riots in 1964. It takes place that evening in the apartment of Bill Jameson, and he is looking to complete his triptych. And in order to do so, he needs a model that he sees in his eyes is the quote unquote messed up chick. And a couple of his friends run into who they believe is the perfect candidate, and her name is Tomorrow, and that's who I play. So we meet each other, and it's an unconventional love story, I would say. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I loved it. I mean, Childress, she is amazing. The
Yes,
way
yeah.
she writes, and she goes in depth and in detail into feelings and emotions, and she's able to see different shades and different sides of it.
Mm.
Must be also pretty difficult to interpret. What were the biggest challenges and the biggest reward that you got from being and interpreting this role?
Mm. I think the biggest reward is like knowing that I'm a part of a legacy that's continuing her work. Um, this particular play, it was the first time I read it was kind of starting this process, and I was a bit ashamed that I had not heard of this play before.
Mm.
Um, and and it's so beautifully written and so nuanced and so many different topics kind of like to digest. Um, so to be able to share that on a stage to perhaps share with other people who
Yeah,
also haven't heard of this story, who maybe even haven't even heard of Alice Childress before. I feel like that's such a reward, um, that this to bring the story to life. And there's always challenges. Luckily, right? If you're doing your job well, there should be a few. I can't say I have all the answers, but it was rewarding challenges. Working with LaChance was such a beautiful experience, and being under her direction, and she really trusted all of us to kind of navigate and bring these people, human beings, to life. And there's so much texture, and there's so many complexion, kind of, excuse me, complications in the way that they process things. So trying to be honest in that moment was very much the challenge that I think if we're lucky, we can have as actors.
And in this play, you are absolutely amazing. I didn't even recognize you at first.
Thank you.
That's saying a lot. When you
Oh,
don't recognize someone, it means you were really playing that part.
thank you. Thank you.
It was amazing. I loved it. I loved it also because I love La Chance.
Hmm.
I saw Trouble in Mind.
Yeah.
As you said, I didn't know Childress
Mm,
before. I
mm,
discovered it with Trouble in Mind.
mm.
And that made me be interested in discovering more about her and reading more about her because
Right.
she's so fantastic.
Really.
So um, tell tell us a little bit about the interaction with the other characters in this plot, in this play, because they're all beautiful um, actors, amazing
Yes.
actors in the cast.
Truly talented actors. I mean, so you mean as a character or as a human? Like
As a character
as
and as a
my
human.
No, I mean, I feel so lucky to work with every single one of them, and and all of them are incredibly talented, and there's no way. I mean, what I love about this story is it is a true collaborative teamwork effort. This play wouldn't happen if one character was off. Like, we all have to come together to tell the story, and our connection in doing so. I feel like we all have the same kind of goal, which is to preserve and to expand to the best of our abilities, the legacy of Alice Childress. And so I've worked with Grantham once before. He was in Shakespeare in the Park, and it's my first time working with Brooks and Lakeisha and Milton. But Milton just has a wealth of stories, and his career. So just kind of sitting and listening and taking all of that in and hearing, his stories, his legacy has been so beautiful. And I just feel so lucky to be surrounded by so many talented, amazing people.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the interaction between the characters, because there is really a lot happening outside.
right.
It's a really very, as you said before, the riots. Well, it's a real thing. First of all, we
Hmm.
need to say that it's not a fiction. That's what
Yes,
really
yeah,
happened, the historical fact.
true.
And uh, the way she played it, the way she wrote it, it's this interaction inside with the revolution going on outside. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that because this is very, very interesting, I think.
Well, during what we were learning is like during this time period, a lot of people had this idea of how to revolutionize and what the right way to revolutionize was. And with our 2025 historical context that we have now, we understand that not everybody had the right idea. And I think Bill's idea of that came from a deep place of love. However, it was a bit misguided in how who he thought the ideal Black woman was. Um, and I think that's, where my character kind of spins that or subverts that understanding of his idea of what Black beauty is and what the perfect Black woman of the 60s is. And I think my relationship to them is not one of, you know, without giving the whole plot point away, but is another one of deep love. But how we love is different, and how Tommy loves is accepting flaws. Like everybody has flaws, it's okay. But she then later learned, but you can't be mean to me. We can all change, we can all grow, but how you do it, how you treat people is very important. How you treat your own people is very important to the larger picture of change and revolution that you're trying to bring. So I really love that point of view that she has, Tommy has.
Wonderful. It is. And the another thing is that all her plays, although they were written so long ago, this is about 55 years ago, 50 years ago, right?
Mm,
They are so current,
yeah,
fortunately, because in
unfortunately, right. Yeah,
this case, the riot was sparked by a policeman killing a young Black man.
right,
And this is happening still.
right.
Let's talk a little bit about that. How important is that you can recognize what is going on, and this can help. heal a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a message in this story. Like healing really just is you can be angry. One of my favorite lines that Old Timer has is, young people ought to be mad with your people sometime. And yeah, like we should challenge things that our peers are saying. We should challenge ideas that feel like blanketed ideas. Like we should try to figure out how to be the best versions of ourselves. But in doing so, understand that you might be mistaken or you might not have all of the information. So I think what I love about the story and why it is a classic is it still resonates. We're still learning some of these lessons, and history can be cyclical sometimes. And how do we learn from the past and be better while still understanding that we're human beings who are flawed and we don't have all the answers? Um, so again, yeah, back to what I was saying, it's really just how you treat people.
Absolutely.
Mm,
And it's so sad that we are still in in those moments. Um, I think in my lifetime, this is the worst
mm,
time of my lifetime. Being Italian, and the reason why I started this show is seeing things that from the outside you can't see, and living in Harlem
mhm,
and wanting to give back in somehow to the
mhm,
community who is the talent is so amazing.
mm,
It's so spread, is everywhere, and is not known enough, unless few exceptions. So being confronted with this every day and seeing that things seem to go backward instead of going forward is something that it's it really scares me
mm,
in a certain way. But I believe that the arts, music, are one of the tools
mhm,
to heal. And you
mm.
are a representative of that. So tell me a little bit, how does it feel to be on that stage and having that feeling that you are uniting people?
Oh,
You have,
wow. Yeah. I mean, for one, I think just in terms of the future, I have to be hopeful. I have to believe that there are new generations of people being born
yeah,
who have beautiful ideas that we have no idea about, yeah, or that we don't know yet. So I'm very hopeful, and it's tomorrow we have another student matinee, but we had one last week, and it was just so spectacular to hear the questions and to hear uh, about how just how they think, and these students were from, I believe they were the LaGuardia students, and not all of them are performing arts students. So just to see how their brains are working and how they digest artistry, like some of them are vocal majors, like so it's just really exciting to see how excited they got to see a piece that was written maybe even before their parents were
yes.
born. So it's hopeful. I'm hopeful that yes, as sad as that it might be resonating, it's exciting that it does resonate, and it sparks like this kind of magic inside somebody to make something to
Yeah.
respond to that, and that's we're blessed if we can do that. If I can be a representative for anyone to see themselves or see themselves in Tommy, be it in any like across generations, be it young, be it older, like then it feels that we are all doing our job well, and that is rewarding. And you don't really know. You don't really know. But I do know that my job is to tell the story to the best of my ability.
And you are doing it. So is La Chance.
Yeah, she is. She really is.
Is fantastic. I interviewed
Yeah.
her last year at the National Black Theatre Festival in
Oh, yeah.
Salem,
Hmm.
and she was talking about this because she was in the process of preparing it.
Making it. Oh, wow.
So that I was waiting for this because I wanted absolutely to see it.
Yeah.
And her special connection to Childress,
Hmm.
how important was it during this show?
Well, I mean, it was intimidating because she crushed it. So you want to make her proud, but as I said, like immediately in the rehearsal process, she really trusted us.
Mhm.
And when somebody gives you that much trust, who is so immensely talented, you have to show up. There's no real time to be shy about it. You gotta show up and put your best work forward. And I just feel so pleased that I can make her pleased. It feels really amazing. It really does that she is so happy with this show, and I'm so proud to be a part of her history and her legacy as well. I mean, she's an incredible artist as well as producer as well as director as well as businesswoman. So it's just so I there are no words that really how much gratitude I have to be a part of her process and that she saw something in me to want to add to that.
That I was smiling when you said that you were intimidated.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Must
It
be,
is.
it must be every time you start a new project,
Hmm.
it must be like, tell me how is it? How
Well,
is
sometimes you just there's a disassociation that happens. I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna get here. If like I don't even remember where we began truly because I'm like, I don't know. I can't anticipate what's gonna come. I take it day by day. Obviously, you do your homework, you do your work, but I can't predict what the outcome is going to be. So all of this is still overwhelming. I mean, we just opened last week, so and yes, we've been in previews, but so it's been such a beautiful process to receive uh, all these nice words from
well,
people, but it wasn't something I anticipated in the beginning, not because I didn't believe that Alice Childress's words were meaningful. I knew what they meant to me, but I didn't know what they could mean to a larger group of people.
wow.
Yeah.
It's always a challenge every time. Your work is one of the most difficult works, I think, being
Mm,
an artist.
mm.
It's always a new challenge. It's always reinventing yourself. I love it. It
Yeah,
was my passion when I was a little girl. I was writing poems and I was writing plays.
really, that's amazing.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I took something else.
Yeah.
In the war.
Well, you can still write.
Oh yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
writing, but I mean,
yeah.
I loved acting because I
Hmm.
was writing and then I was preparing the
Performing,
show
I
and then
see.
I was
Okay.
performing and I directing and I was
Oh, wow.
12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
I was doing everything myself. So when I talk to someone like you, I'm thinking, how would it have been for me to be like that? Because
Mm.
it's a beauty.
Well, you still can.
Oh, too late. Too late.
No, 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 I disagree. I disagree. It's never too late.
It's never too late. You're right.
Never too late.
You haven't told me about in your careers those moments which meant something, which meant where you felt, okay, this is a new page. I'm turning a new,
Mm.
or those most challenging ones, whatever you.
I think it's still happening. I don't think there's been like a singular like landing space. I've been so blessed that I've been able to work throughout from graduating to now, and it hasn't been linear, but I feel so very fortunate to have worked with who I've worked with and the projects that I've worked on. Um and I don't know. I'm just, I know what I like, and I'm open to what I don't know. Because I don't know everything. So I'm on a quest to continue to build my artistry and again, like I said, I genuinely, thoroughly, without any sort of pressure, love what I do. I really do. And I've been so lucky to be in scenarios where I can thrive in those spaces. Um, so I just want to continue to do that. I'll answer that later. I don't know is
And you
the
can make
answer.
a difference. That's the main thing.
Sorry.
And you can make a difference.
Oh, thank you.
Doing that, you're making a difference. I
Thank
really
you.
believe the arts make a difference.
Mm, hmm.
I've lived in many different countries because I worked all my life in the European Parliament. So
Mm,
I lived in different countries. And when you get to know people, that's when unity comes.
mm,
And that's the only way. Love, understanding, and knowing
mhm,
is the key. Ignorance is what makes people
mm.
hate. And
Yes,
and this is what we need to fight. We need to fight hate. We need to fight
yes,
ignorance.
yes.
This is why it's scary. They're taking away books and they're doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. So, how special is it that you are performing now in this show and your dad is performing on World in Othello? How does it feel?
Like I've been saying, it feels like we didn't realize it, or I didn't realize how special it could be until it was happening, until we both were able to go to each other's openings, and it's really nice to have my whole family in a space. As we get older and everybody's working, it gets harder to be together. So to be together in a form of celebration is always it's just the best.
Amazing.
So yeah, everybody's just so proud. They're just so proud.
Have you been able to see his show and is it being
Yes.
yours? Yes.
Yeah, so it worked out that his opening was last Sunday and my opening was last Monday. So his day off, he was able to come to mine, and I didn't have an evening show Sunday, so I got to go to his. So it's perfect. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
What did he say? What did he say about this?
He was just so proud. He was kind of speechless, which is new because he's never really speechless, but
Because
very proud. I mean, everybody. My siblings were in town. My mom came. I mean, my mom is also. She goes to our shows often. Anytime we're on stage, she makes an effort to see it multiple times. She gets in there and we'll just watch it. And she just is like, they're the best support system, both of them.
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
She's an amazing actress as well. I've
she
seen
really is. Yes. And you
her.
better believe there are notes being passed
Not at all.
every time.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure that she tells you what she thinks.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm very
Thankfully,
sure.
thankfully.
I met her a few times. I realized, oh, she's
Yeah,
wonderful.
she is.
So we're near the end.
Mm.
What is your next project after this?
I have luckily never predicted what I'm doing next, and so I'm not going to start now. I keep it day by day in this process, and still auditioning and reading and growing. So we'll see what comes. Yes.
Wonderful. You can take a vacation after all this work.
I do love to work, though. I can't say I don't. But yes,
Yeah.
I will take whatever comes my way.
What is the message you want uh, young people
Mm.
that want to become actors, or to do what you're doing? What is the message you want to give them? What is the most important thing to do,
Ooh.
not to do?
Not to do, I think to do, where I really began to grow as a human and as an artist, because that's definitely the Stella Adler kind of mentality, right? Like growth as a human and growth as an artist are synonymous. And that really resonated with me. So learning life, you can't tell, you can't experience or express the human condition if you haven't experienced life. So making friends and exploring and reading and having fun and maybe not doing everything so by the book. I mean, you have to forge your own path and be comfortable with that, and that my way is not going to look like your way, or your way is not going to look like my way, and that's okay. So really figuring out your own path and stealing from there and borrowing from that, trying that on. Oh, I don't like how that fits. I didn't like how that worked with me. Let me try something else. I think that's what's worked for me. It's continuing to work for me. So
Well,
yeah.
that's a beautiful, beautiful advice, I think. Be yourself. That's what you're saying. Be true.
Nobody on this earth has anything that you have. No one has the makeup that you have. No one has the inner life that you have. And worthy. It's worth it. So share it.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are so modest, so sweet.
Thank you.
Really, I can feel it. And are you shy?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Always. Ever since I was a little kid. Yes.
And you know, that was one of the reasons why I didn't pursue it,
Right.
because I was so shy.
Yeah.
I couldn't even look at people in their face.
Hmm.
So has this helped you, being an actress? Has this helped you to overcome that?
I think so, but it definitely it started with dance. Being to physically put your body in a space where you might be shy and don't want people to look at you really helped me. And being around such powerfully strong Black women. Eartha Robinson was my first dance teacher, and I still talk to her to this day. And she was a Harlem dancer and
Yeah.
came to New York, came to Los Angeles from New York. She really was like, "No, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
And that's what really broke it, and really art really just kind of, I don't know, it pushes that aside, and there's something to do. I have something to share, and something that must come out. So that's what helps me. But yeah, I'm still shy.
Oh, okay. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's okay.
I
It's
recognize.
not so, yeah, it's
I,
not a bad thing anymore. It just is.
we, we try to hide it, but
Ex-
when someone else has the same thing,
You're like, oh, I recognize that. Yeah,
okay, all right.
absolutely.
It's so beautiful,
Oh, thank
so
you.
beautiful. Thank you again for your time. Congratulations for all you've done and what you're doing right now.
Thank
My
you.
best wishes for what you're gonna do next.
Mm.
And that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time and for coming and supporting. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you to my viewer. See you next Saturday, 12:30, Spectrum, channel 1993, MNN HD, and on my YouTube channel for all the past episodes, YouTube, My Harlem Portraits, Maria G. Cavenaghi. Thank you again, Olivia.
Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye.